Yesterday, a military convoy was spotted entering Zimbabwe from Bait Bridge border post. Now, the Zimbabwe government issued statements on this. However, these statements issued by the Zimbabwe government are said to be conflicting. Now, finding these statements to be conflicting now becomes very, very disturbing and very, very worrying. All right, so we'll talk about that, what happened there. Right about now, let's go to the Zambia issue. It seems HICHILEMA is taking Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa head on. It is said that HICHILEMA has just escalated this case to Africa Union and to SADC. And now what is happening here? It is said that HICHILEMA wants to see President Emmerson Mnangagwa out. He wants to stop his SADC chairmanship. Remember, President ED is the incoming SADC chairman. He's supposed to be the chairman. Here we see this headline by the Zimbabwe Newsday. It says Zambia takes ED to AU over SADC and SADC over diplomatic role. And here, this is a Zambian newspaper called Diggers. Zambia reports Mnangagwa. Zambia reports Mnangagwa. So Zambia wants SADC and AU to mediate the deteriorating relations with Zimbabwe. Zambia says it has called two regional bodies, the African Union and the Southern African Development Committee, SADC, to mediate talks with neighboring Zimbabwe. Zambian officials say that the diplomatic fallout with neighboring Zimbabwe stems from remarks that Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa shared with Russian President Vladimir Putin on a recent visit, namely the accusation that the US has been militarizing Zambia to consolidate power in the region and isolate Zimbabwe. Now, in a television speech in Parliament on Thursday, Zambia Foreign Minister called Mulambo Haimbe rejected Mnangagwa's statement on unwarranted attack on Zambia's sovereignty. Now, they are referring this to as an attack on sovereignty. Now, this is a video done a few days ago by the Zambian President HICHILEMA himself. All right, to those who are watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat. That's how I can see your names and give you my shout out. Here, let us check the mood that the Zambian president was in. He wasn't happy. He was very sad. Big up to LAM. Thank you for that comment. Says love your broadcast. Thank you very much. Anyways, let's check out HICHILEMA. What is he saying?
This country has security partnerships with many countries since independence, where we have military attaches ourselves. Your fellow citizens are military attaches in many countries. I hope you know what a military attache is. And we do have here as well reciprocal. That's not equivalent to a barrack. You are now emotionally charging citizens. When you get arrested because there's a law against that, you say, oh.
All right, here he's speaking indirectly, saying you are now emotionally charging citizens. Remember, when Zambia holds its elections, ED will be the SADC president. Now, it is said that ED is backing Edgar Lungu to remove the SADC president HICHILEMA. One question can be, does he have that power? Now, the Zambian president HICHILEMA is now under pressure to push ED out before ED pushes him out. If you watch him closely, even listen to the tonality of his voice, he's really angry here.
Oh, media freedoms have been taken away. And governments share intelligence. They share better ways of keeping the world stable. there's no military base here other than Zambian military bases. Our soldiers train in Russia, they train in China, in India, they train in Kenya.
Here he mentions that our soldiers train in Russia, they train in China, they train in India. Now, recently, the Russian President Vladimir Putin was in Russia, in North Korea, sorry. The Russian President Vladimir Putin was in Russia, and he issued a warning to the United States of America and its partners, right? So what was Putin saying in his warning to America? Aiti, America iri kukonzeresa tension muma regions ano-operate kwawo ne Russia. Then Putin mentions Asia as an example. Was he also referring to Africa, where we are seeing Africom opening an office in Zambia? Then here we are seeing Hakainde Hichilema saying we also have relations with Russia. Now, while in North Korea, Putin spoke about South Korea. Remember, between South Korea and North Korea right now, at this moment, so there's a war that is still happening. Technically, the war between North Korea and South Korea never ended. Right? So, Putin spoke to South Korea saying that whatever is happening between me and America, or between me and the West, has nothing to do with my relationship and you. I don't view you as an enemy. You may be an enemy to North Korea. Okay, I'm working with North Korea and I'm getting weapons from North Korea, right? But my war ne America, I name me. Siana in Ukraine, my weapons, right? Anyways, one of the reasons why there is a war in Ukraine is because Ukraine wanted to become a member of the NATO. Wanted to become a member of the NATO. Now, this quasi or pseudo base opening in Zambia is a cause of concern. Remember, we are now having what we call BRICS. Now we're having BRICS that is set to remove the grip of the US dollar on the world, or rather on Africa. Now, BRICS, in my member nations, international organization comprising of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, Arab Emirates, Dubai, and also Zimbabwe, has recently become a member of BRICS, or is just about to become a member of BRICS. So BRICS has its own central bank. BRICS has its own money system. And now this issue of the United States of America coming into SADC is threatening to Russia and China. Of course, when we look at West Africa already, the West has already been thrown out. And again, the main focus of any nation that has interest in making money out of Africa, the main focus, nations of focus, is Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Nigeria. Remember, Zimbabwe has the largest gold deposits in the world, the largest diamond deposits in the world, and we recently discovered oil, we have gas, then we have rare earth elements. If we remember, even from our schooling days, the Atlas, if we look at the map of Zimbabwe, Pakati Space Pepe, there's a thing that we call the Great Dike. How big it is. That thing is massive. The Great Dike is really, really big. My minerals is. So, the SADC, Southern African region, is a target for those guys. There is more peace than in the DRC. So there, that is Putin and the North Korean leader. There. So picture E, ya Putin yakaskopa side ne mtungamiri we North Korea, which is very, very rare because this guy, only this guy's picture is seen there. Kona muna iskopa denga hapa ndiye ngari leader, which was a clear message being sent to where? To the United States of America.
It is in this context that we have sought the regional body's urgent and immediate intervention in relation to the present and any other matters in seeming contention.
Now, that is the Zambian Foreign Affairs Minister. He says, in seeming contention, Mulambo Haimbe. Now, he's being diplomatic in his speaking because when the case is escalated already, there is conflict
between Zimbabwe and ourselves. Zambia remains open to fostering and deepening relations with like-minded, brotherly, and sisterly nations, even in the face of misunderstandings that may arise from time to time.
Okay, Zambia remains open, meaning to Zimbabwe, there is no that connection, there is no connection, but it's saying we are open to those who are like-minded.
Ours is to enhance economic diplomacy, peace, security, and stability in the region and beyond for the mutual benefit of our collective citizens. However, that notwithstanding, Zambia remains a sovereign state whose sovereignty must be respected.
Here, he says Zambia remains a sovereign state whose sovereignty must be respected. Now, kana paktora nyaya sovereignty, yato ondoi. Sovereignty means being independent, being able to make our own decision. And the moment they start playing this sovereignty card, it means already things have escalated. Sovereignty. Take note of that word, sovereignty. We remember it from the days land reform, pachizopuama sanctions, etc. ne America. Right? Now,
it is in this context that we have sought the regional body's urgent and immediate intervention in relation.
Urgent and immediate intervention. Urgent and immediate intervention. Now, a military convoy was spotted entering Zimbabwe. From Bridge border post, government issued conflicting statements on this issue of military convoy. What did they say? We're going to get there right about now. But here, I want to show you this one here. This is the X account of George Charamba. What does he say here about HICHILEMA? He says, Chimutengesi. That is 12 hours ago. Then he posts an image of HICHILEMA and that guy wearing a navy outfit is a commander in the US Army. I think he's commander of the AFRICOM in Africa, but he's a very big person in the US Army. So we see here George Charamba calling Akainde HICHILEMA Chimutengesi. How do people comment or react to this? This guy's another body give says, from this post, I get George's concern now. USA AFRICOM was involved in Libya and the dictator Gaddafi was removed. His assumption is that America is too close for comfort. The guilty are always afraid. This is one comment somebody makes on this remark by George Charamba on the Zambian President HICHILEMA. Now, same George Charamba, presidential spokesperson George Charamba, and two other military spokespersons have given conflicting statements on the decision, on the destination of a heavily guarded military haulage trucks convoy that entered the country at night through Bait Bridge border post. The contingent, which went through the Bait Bridge VIP section, got into Mashingo just after midnight and drove to Mtare, raising eyebrows, with many people calling the media to update on that. Now, in Mashingo, all intersections, road intersections, were heavily guarded by military police as the contingent passed through. So, there is speculation. One speculation is that the assistance that Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa asked from the Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived. But could that be the case? Or now that is becoming too much? And assistance yakakumbirwa na Mnangagwa kuna Putin yashika. Could that be the case? Or that is not the case? Big up to everybody who's watching us live right now. Make sure you write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can see your names, so I can give you my shout out. Now, George Charamba also makes a comment on this one. A statement was also released from the Minister of Defense, from the Office of the Minister of Defense, Opam Mchinguri, and said that this convoy was part of a Lesotho Defense Forces convoy that entered Zimbabwe through Nyamapanda border on its way from Mozambique to Lesotho. Now that is very tricky. Maybe aita era yekunyora angafana tour from is tricky. Remember, in Mozambique, munima insurgents are kuitika nema jihadists imomo. Yes, many nations in SADC have been pulling their support from out of there. Then, Charamba is said to have said that the trucks were transporting food rations to Zimbabwe National Army members that are currently doing drills across the country. He was saying we hold drills this time of the year in different places of the country. So we were transporting food rations to the areas. If there were weapons, why would we let them pass through South Africa? We have no need to arm ourselves. And I keep repeating that the president was in Russia. He raised complaints against the behavior of US in the region. The reference to Zambia was coincidental, not intentional. Zambia is our good neighbor. Though that is a direct quote from the words of George Charamba, the presidential spokesperson. Anyways, with all that is happening, only time will tell what is really going on. Anyways, as of now, That was it. I'm gonna sign out. Big up to LAM, Hondo One, Gain More, Mawungwa. Enough respect. All right. So tomorrow morning we're gonna be covering the issue, your story, your reform. Remember reform, your South Africa, on the issue to do with Zimbabwe Election Commission. Recently, ZEC has denied working with Wicknell Chivhayo, and Renform again denied working with Wicknell Chivhayo. However, following that, we saw leaked images of Wicknell Chivhayo at Renform offices in South Africa. So we're going to be taking a different look at this issue concerning Wicknell Chivhayo. We're going to take a different look. Could Chivhayo akapuwa contract, right? Kana akavhara hurumende akavavhara here, because kana achitengesa zvinhu zvake, it's up to him to charge whatever amount he wants to charge. Nyangwe akacharge 1 million for a server which cost 4,000. Inenge iri mhosva yaChivhayo here kana kuti imhosva yemunhu akapusa akamupa contract, right? Or mhosva yemunhu akangwara anoda kuzopuwa cut neck back door. So we're going to be getting deep into the details and looking into my possibilities or my possibles. Big up to Thomas, the big guy. I'm going to sign out right now. Thank you for watching.